Assalamu alaikum and good evening. You are watching HumSub.TV and I am Munib Hamid with the news. Prime Minister Shahid Khaqan Abbasi to attend the annual meeting of the World Economic Forum in Davos. Prime Minister Shahid Khaqan Abbasi arrived here on Tuesday to attend the annual meeting of the World Economic Forum in Davos. The two-day meeting begins on Wednesday. Upon arrival at the Zurich airport, Mr. Abbasi was received by Pakistan's ambassador to Switzerland, Ahmed Naseem Varrach, and other officials. During his stay here, the Prime Minister will attend a number of events and hold bilateral meetings with key world leaders. Mr. Abbasi is expected to meet chief executives of 15 multinational organizations from the US, Europe, China, and Japan. He will also get an opportunity to interact with heads of state and government in a special session of the informal group of world economic leaders, besides participating in a WEF session at the Belt and Road Impact. Centre should exercise authority jointly with provinces, Senate Chairman Raza Rabbani. The controversy of the mysterious role of the World Bank in drafting a law about appointment of the country's natural resources and attempt to delink the petroleum and natural gas regulator from provincial oversight took a new turn on Tuesday, with Senate Chairman Raza Rabbani ruling that the Federation is required to exercise its authority in the executive, administrative and regulatory spheres jointly and equally with the provinces. Referring to a statement made by Prime Minister Shahid Khaqan Abbasi in the Senate recently that the World Bank was engaged as a consultant and that engagement had ended, the chairman said, notwithstanding the position taken by the Prime Minister, an attempt to de-link the petroleum and natural gas regulator from provincial oversight in contravention of the convention constitutional provisions by paying with a draft law on the dictates of the World Bank is unacceptable. Ex-militants raising funds for welfare, says Interior Minister Ahsan Iqbal. Interior Minister Ahsan Iqbal has said that ex-militants are raising funds for welfare and they may join any terrorist outfit if stopped from carrying out such activities. Talking to journalists after attending the passing out ceremony of the counter-terrorism force at police lines headquarters here on Tuesday, he said that about 4,000 to 5,000 militants had quit militancy and were raising funds for welfare. What would they do if they don't do the same? Either we throw them into the sea or give them opportunity to join Daesh. Mr. Iqbal said without naming any individual or outfit. He said these people were not involved in militancy anymore but engaged in welfare works, adding that they were under surveillance, their accounts were seized and there was a ban on their fundraising. NAB to hold first open court tomorrow. For the first time in the National Accountability Bureau is holding an open court at its Thokar Niaz Beg office here on Thursday. On the direction of NAB Chairman retired Justice Javed Iqbal, hearing of public complaints will be held on Thursday by Lahore Director General Shehzad Salim, a spokesman said here on Tuesday. He said on last Thursday of every month the open court would be held and immediate directives would be issued after listening complaints from the people. The open court will be held on Thursday between 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. and all the complainants are advised to write their complaints on the white blank paper attached with supporting documents and available proofs along with the photocopy of their computerized national identity cards. Accountability Courts reserve judgment on Dar's petition to unfreeze Hajveri trust accounts. Accountability Court on Wednesday reserved judgment on unfreezing bank accounts of former Finance Minister Ishaq Dar's welfare organization, Hajveri Trust and Hajveri Foundation. The lawyer told the court that Hajveri Foundation is running more than one project. According to the lawyer, the foundation is also giving approximately rupees 50 to rupees 60 million to various hospitals for dialysis treatment. Hajveri Foundation also gives funds to Hajveri Trust, which is an institution for orphan children. How can someone misuse trust funds? We have filed documents regarding expenses of the trust for the past 3 years. The lawyer told the Accountability Court. NAB's Deputy Secretary Imran Shafiq told the court that he can confirm that Hajveri Trust caters to orphan children. We don't want the children to suffer, but this is also a reality that welfare organizations were misused. The organizations was made for a good cause but was misused. The judgment has been reserved till January 31st. Haqqani network commander, 2 others killed in North Waziristan drone strike. Haqqani network commander Ahsan alias Khowari and 2 of his companions were allegedly killed during a twin drone strike conducted in North Waziristan. Sources within the political administration of Spain, Thal Dapa Mamozai, said that the drone strikes allegedly carried out by U.S. spy planes targeted a house belonging to Afghan refugees. Station house officer Thal Amir Zaman confirmed the death of a man named Nasir Mahmood alias Khawari. Local sources belonging to the Orakzai agency said that the strike was carried out on a Haqqani network hideout. On January 17, in the first drone strike of the year, 1 man was severely injured in Kuram agency's Badshah Court area near the Pak-Afghan border. 11 wounded in ongoing attack on Save the Children office in eastern Afghanistan. Gunmen stormed an office of the Save the Children in eastern Afghanistan on Wednesday, witnesses said, in an ongoing attack that has wounded at least 11 people. At around 9:10 a.m., suicide attacker detonated a car bomb at the entrance of Save the Children's compound in Police District 3 of Jalalabad city, and then Garhar governor spokesman Ataullah Kogiani. A group of armed men then entered the compound. So far, 11 wounded people have been brought to hospitals. Sessions questioned in Russia probe as FBI accused of bias. U.S. Attorney General Jeff Sessions was named Tuesday as the first member of Donald Trump's cabinet to be questioned in the probe into allegations of Russian election meddling, as the report said the president himself could face an interview request within weeks. The Justice Department confirmed that Sessions, who was downplayed the notion that Russia interfered in Trump's favor in 2016, was heard for several hours last week, suggesting that Special Counsel Robert Mueller's probe was moving ever close to the president. But Mueller's probe also came under fierce attack Tuesday after the Justice Department admitted the loss of 5 months of text messages between 2 FBI investigators, Agent Peter Strozgok and lawyer Lisa Page, who are known to have expressed hostility towards Trump. Tillerson meets with British, Saudi, UAE ministers on Yemen. U.S. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson met Tuesday with the foreign ministers of Britain, Saudi Arabia and the UAE to discuss a political solution to the conflict in Yemen, sources said. The meeting was organized by top British diplomats Boris Johnson at the British Embassy in Paris. Tillerson and Johnson took part earlier Tuesday in the launch of the international initiative against chemical weapons, in particular in Syria. The conflicts in Syria and Yemen have created 2 of the worst humanitarian crises of our time, Johnson said ahead of the meetings. There can be no military solution to either conflict. Only peaceful and careful negotiated political solutions will truly end the suffering. The UN has described Yemen, the poorest country in the Middle East, as the world's largest humanitarian disaster. Turkey's Syria campaign could extend beyond Afrin, Foreign Minister Mevlut Cavusoglu. Turkey's campaign to oust Kurdish militia from their enclave of Afrin in North Syria could be expanded to include the town of Manbij and even areas east of Euphrates River, Foreign Minister Mevlut Cavusoglu said on Tuesday. Turkey on Saturday launched Operation Olive Branch, aimed at rooting at the Kurdish People's Protection Unit militia, which Ankara sees as a terror group from its Afrin enclave in northern Syria. But analysts say a crucial question will be whether Turkey limits the campaign to Afrin region or extend it to YPG held town of Manbij or the other areas of the east. Afrin is an enclave of YPG control cut off from the longer strip of northern Syria that the group controls to east, extending to the Iraqi border, which has a U.S. military presence. Egypt arrests former chief of staff for planning to challenge Abdel Fattah el-Sisi. Egypt's military on Tuesday arrested its former chief of staff who was planning to run in upcoming elections against President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, accusing him of inciting against the armed forces and forgery in what appeared to be a calculated move to push him out of the race. With his bid to run now all but dead, Sami Anan becomes the latest in a string of potential competitors to el-Sisi who have dropped out or have been driven out. El-Sisi, a former head of the military, is considered virtually certain to win re-election in March 26 to 28 vote. A security official with first-hand knowledge of the Annan affair said the ex-general was arrested by the military simultaneously with the release to the official media of an armed forces statement listing the allegations facing him. And now the sports news. Injured Nadal faces 3 weeks. World number 1 Rafael Nadal faces 3 weeks out after being diagnosed with a torn inner hip muscle during his Australian Open quarter-final defeat. His management said Wednesday. The 16-time Grand Slam champion had a scan in a Melbourne hospital after he retired early in the 5th set of his match with Croatia's Marin Cilic on Tuesday. And now the weather forecast for the next 24 hours. Mainly cold and dry weather is expected in most parts of the country. However, very cold weather conditions are likely to prevail in northern areas, Malakand and Quetta divisions. Fog is likely to prevail at a few plain areas of Punjab during morning hours. That's all for now. For more news and updates, keep watching HumSub.TV. Take care. Please subscribe to HumSub.TV and hit the notification icon on the screen to get the latest updates of our channel. Thank you for watching HumSub.TV.